Today's topic is our function and task, a very important thing because we use this thing every time we are writing code. So why we are using this function and task? So we want our code to reuse the same process. We don't want to write multiple times, like some a plus b, then some c plus d. So you just create some function and you just give the value a, b or c, d. So this reusability can be achieved from this function task, improve readability, because we can use this same thing with the help of always block or initial block. But because of this, reusability is increased. You can write this outside your module, so it is easy for writing code. So for writing more complex code, we need this function task. So let's see what are the function and tasks. So first you should know the rules for writing a function, and that rule is that we cannot use any delay statements like triggering statement, wait statement, hash delays, or inter delay, or negate or passage inside our function, because function turned at zero simulation of time. Has zero is not delay, it is like zero simulation of time, and it is executed at start of the simulation, and you cannot write delay. Okay, and a function cannot start a task because it may consume simulation time, but can call other functions. So task can be used with delays. These delays can be used inside the task. So if you are calling function and function A, you can say in function A you are calling B. That's fine, because function don't have any delays or any triggering elements. But if this B is task and task has some delay, so it will give compile error. Okay, so this thing is not allowed. A function should have at least one input. So function is doing some process, so it needs some input, so you must give some input. A function cannot have a non-blocking assignment or force release or assign or design. So I will create this video for assign and force release, and a function cannot have this also, non-blocking assignment of this. Function cannot have any triggers, which these triggers like always block, at the rate, or any trigger elements like events and everything. Event is also one thing in our system logs, which we cannot use inside our function. A function cannot have output or in output, so it can only have input port and return type. Function has our return type, so means whenever the input is coming, it will return the value. This is some kind of output which will be returning, so output we don't need, and it cannot be used, and in out we cannot use. So this is the some rules of function you should remember. And here is our function. So function and function, a typical Verilog thing. And automatic and static, I have mentioned this in our previous videos. I have created static and automatic keyword. So module is static. If you want to create a function which is automatic inside the module, you have to mention here automatic, otherwise it will be static. So this thing you can write inside your function. You can define it is static or automatic, it is having dynamic memory or static memory. Okay, automatic means dynamic memory. Return type like int, range, by default will be wire. So this thing you can define, and name and port list you can define, like input ports, and your basic statements, logics you can write inside your task. So this is simple syntax. You will see example of adder. So we are here I haven't used import, but you can write the function without that also. So this is our input AB, and simple add is our return type here, A plus B. It will returning the value of A plus B, and you can call this add function in your initial and always block. So this is our simple function, right? Now here we the same example as previous one, and you can also write with our port list. Okay, see this one. So in this one, if you can if you mention here ref keyword, so your pass by reference and pass by value or kind of function thing you can use. I have created videos for this one, so you can watch that one. But if I want to summarize in a short, then you can say that for example, if it is A and B are global variable inside your module, and we are using this variable here, So this a plus b, and you are assigning sum to your a. Okay, so a plus b is your 4 5 plus 4, you can say 4 plus 5 is 9. So if 9 is inside your sum, and a will become 9. Okay, if you are using ref, then this reference will given to your a, and your module a will have a 9 value. Okay, so you override the value of 4 to 9 with using ref keyword, so it is passed by reference. If you don't want to use this, then your a value will be 4, and here it doesn't affect. Okay, so this is pass by value and pass by reference in function, and these are the two types how can you write your function. Now calling function, so you have to call it inside initial block, and like result, it is some variable you have taken, and this sum you can use it here. So sum parenthesis and whatever value you can put, and these things you can use by how to call the function. And I have already told you this is calling by value, you can call by reference. Now moving forward, this is recursive function, because you are using the return speciality of our function. When you are returning this value, you are just using this logic for factorial. We are not interested in this logic, we are interested in function today. So we are creating automatic, because this memory you don't want to be override, you want a new memory for every time. So we are using automatic keyword. Every time the factorial will have new value. And this is function and function. You can write if else inside the function and function. You can declare variable inside your function. So all the things we can understand from this example, like you are returning writing this function inside your module and module initial always block, you are calling this function. Okay, see, this is you are calling this factorial function, and you have written this function. So yeah, moving forward,
hit subscribe, like, and comment now. Let's begin the journey of verification.
Now this is where we will understand task. So you have already understand that timing elements cannot be used in function, but we can use in task. Cannot enable task because of above rule. So above rule is, like I mentioned previously, that you cannot call function inside task inside function, but you can call task inside task and function inside task, both can be called. Okay, should have at least one input. So this is already mentioned, should have one input. It can have multiple inputs, but it will not have any return type. Okay, return value, it has return value, it doesn't have return value. So by returning value, it will give you output, it will give directly output. Okay, task will directly give you output. Now this is the two type of way we can write task. So task, you can write port list here and your logic, or you can just declare port list here and you can declare your statements. Pass by value, pass by reference are same for task and function, so I will not mention that thing. Now simple, you have written a task here, task sum, and a plus b here, and you have mentioned output here, not a return type. You have mentioned c as output, and c is our output. This is another method with your ports, this is method without your ports. So there is your or, you can write this method or this method. Okay, I will make a box for this one, so you will understand this method or this method. You can write both of this method, and you can have to call a similar to your function like sum a x y z, and you can work with that. Okay, now here I have mentioned that you can use task outside your module. So you have created a module, and this is called global task because it can be used with any design. You can just call this function, and mostly we use task and function similar to this. is also created like this, methods are created outside the module, and you can use this method inside the module. Okay, similar to your print statement, every statement you have written outside your main module, and you are just using inside that module. So you can use different files, you can do stick include that file inside this module, and you can use this task and function. So this is very useful thing. Okay, so here we have completed task and function. So if you practice more about task and function, so it is important in mostly in system Verilog, like using in constraint and everywhere. Constant, you can create like constant for prime number. You can mention the logics inside or process inside the task and function, and you can use that logic in your constant, and you can constant for that prime numbers. So this is one of the example of task and function. Second example, I mentioned like UVM is created like methods are declared outside the class. Inside some different class, inside there is some function and task. So any process and everything is created, you should understand that someone has written some task in that. Okay.
Hit subscribe, like, and comment now. Let's begin the journey of verification.
Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.